Well, happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the morning show right here on Main Street TV. And Jennifer here with a surprise with our good friend Pete Wilson once again to do a morning news update. And we're so excited because we love having Pete Wilson here. And of course, that's always brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. Looking to buy or sell or have any real estate needs, you call the girl that's lived here and is from here and knows real estate in our area. That's Nia, 740-418-4135. All right, Pete, you're stuck with us again today.
Okay, well, I do have some.
Welcome.
That's okay. I do have. It's a very congenial place. Very congenial place. There are some big news stories to pass along, so it's good that I popped up to talk for a little while.
We're so happy to have you back.
Since I was on the air yesterday, Jennifer had some updates from Vinton County, from the sheriff's office. And, when you get news from the sheriff's office, it isn't always good stuff,
right? No, it is not.
Well, the sheriff's office yesterday reported, remember we had told you earlier in the week about the dead body that was found on Curry Road.
Yes.
We did receive some updated information on that. Not a lot of new information, but it basically stood about where it had before. That picture there that we've got up on the monitor, that is very near the site where the dead body was found. As you can see, field with high grass, wooded area. There is a creek right there on the other side of where all those sheriff's vehicles are, and that is where the dead body was found. And what we told you yesterday, if I recall correctly, was that they found that dead body on Tuesday. They're in the wooded area on private property, but they weren't able to make an identification.
Right.
And
didn't know a lot yesterday.
Right, didn't know cause of death or anything like that. The official dispatch put out by the sheriff's office late yesterday afternoon, did have some updated information. Still, they do not know the identification of the body. They've tried, but based on the report and what it says and what it doesn't say, my feeling is that they were dealing with what we call a corpse. You have a body not in good condition because of decay and decomposition.
Sure.
And they weren't able to make any kind of visible identification.
Due to like a tattoo or something.
Right, something like that,
yeah.
or where a photo would be helpful or whatever.
Right.
So this is a person. However they died, they may have been there for some time.
Oh.
They are doing an autopsy.
Okay.
They are doing an autopsy at the Montgomery County Coroner's Office in Dayton. And usually when that happens, Jennifer, based on my experience, you get some initial information back in a day or two. But if you're talking about the forensics, where, they look at the teeth and the bones and all like
DNA,
that.
anything of that nature.
DNA,
yeah.
any clues like that. It takes a little bit of time. They try to front burner that, obviously, but still it can take some time. And, you're sitting waiting if you're the investigator because, that could be the key. So my guess is that they're playing the waiting game there. They have not obviously been able to match up any confirmed IDs based on missing persons or anything else that they've been able to find in their inquiries or whatever. So still a lot of information yet to be learned on that, and certainly very little that they have been able to release, but we do appreciate them saying out what they can. But
was there any indication of foul play?
No indication of foul play that they could tell. The human remains were located in a nearby creek. The scene has been processed by the Vinton County Sheriff's Office deputies and federal agents from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The corpse was recovered after the coroner examined the remains. The identity of the individual and the cause of death remain unknown at that time, and that is straight from the sheriff's office. So we will certainly let you know when we hear anything else from that. Now, this was a little bit of a surprise to me. What I didn't know, and what I know now because of another news release put out by the Vinton County Sheriff's Office, is that there was a shooting incident on State Route 671 or property along State Route 671 last Saturday, and that is where this occurred. You can see the stripe along the edge of the highway there, and then another access road. I don't know whether that's a little township road or a road back to a resident farm or whatever. I'm not sure about that, but this is the site where a shooting incident took place.
Oh, no.
Deputies went out there on Saturday And when they got there, there was a wounded man by the name of Vincent Brown. He is 31 years old, of South Bloomingville. That's a little village on the north end of Benton County, and he was there with multiple gunshot wounds. Well, they did some treatment at the scene, took him to the hospital, but he later died of those multiple gunshot wounds. Now, when they got there, there was a man there by the name of Jeffrey Barger, age 49 years old. He is from Columbus, and he had a loaded shotgun there. And there is Jeffrey Barger, and he has been arrested and is incarcerated. No word on the Sheriff's Office news release about charges right now, but they do describe him as a suspect in what now is the shooting death of Vincent Brown. When they went to the scene on State Route 671, they found Barger in the yard with the loaded shotgun. They were able to take him into custody without incident. I don't know what Barger has said about that, admitted anything, or it's just, certainly circumstantial, obviously. Don't know whether anybody saw anything, but they did receive a report that there was a shooting to go there in the first place. Multiple gunshot wounds. The victim was life-flighted. Brown was life-flighted. However, as I said, he died later in that hospital. So that episode still under investigation, but a suspect in custody. But unfortunately, it is a murder investigation.
What the heck are they doing in Benton County right now? It's some wild stuff.
Well, and you got to remember the sheriff's office was working on these two things at the same time. So, it's really
things like that don't normally happen one at a time, let alone two at a time.
It's really gonna stretch you.
Sure.
Okay. Well, earlier in the week, Jen, I attended the meeting of Jackson City Council, and probably the biggest thing that happened there, as far as time and also significance, was the city officials, both the council and the administration. They used the phrase "pumping the brakes." They're going to pump the brakes on enforcing the cemetery rules. Remember, this got to be controversial at a couple of other meetings. And at the previous council meeting, this meeting was last Monday, August 23rd. But at the previous council meeting on August 9th, a couple of folks came who own lots there in the cemetery. And they were very concerned and spoke against the city's plans to enforce what were honestly existing rules about what you could do and not do at the cemetery in the way of cemetery decoration. Some of it have to do with the type of decorations. Some of it has to do with how big it is and the manner of those decorations. But I remember earlier this year when they took a tour of the cemetery to assess how much of a problem this might be by the letter of the law. I believe Service Director Swackhammer said there was easily more than 100.
Yes.
So this was affecting a lot of people. They didn't immediately, they were instructed, they being the administration, they were instructed to enforce what was on the books with the city. Randy Evans told me right after that, well, we're not going to rush and do this. We're going to slow walk it, make sure people know what the rules are. They obviously don't know what the rules are, or they don't know that they're going to be enforced from now on.
And there would be people that would be from, live far away or whatever that couldn't get here quickly to change things around.
Some of them may be non-resident lot owners or whatever. And they started to take action in July on direct notification by putting signs on the lots that were believed to be in violation, saying, you have until, the end of September to make these corrections or remove these things, whatever the violation happened to be. Well, of course, that got the attention of these lot owners, of course, had at least two people come to the August 9th meeting. Phil Buffington covered that, so I'm not sure if there were other people in addition to the two speakers. But at this last meeting that I covered this past Monday evening, there were three people that came. And of course, they felt very strong and were very emotional, could not understand why you couldn't, decorate the graves as you want. And of course, made the point that they've been decorating, some of these graves before this ordinance went into
for years and years and years.
Right. In 2010 was the ordinance, that the city is planning to follow. And I think that probably that ordinance was put in place for a reason. But for whatever reason, they just weren't enforced. And over the years, it's gotten worse. And so, when city officials, I think Councilwoman Debbie Biggs was the first to make this point all the way back in the early spring. My gosh, look at some of these graves. There's supposed to be this much on it. It must be really hard for the mowers. And as it turned out, the city administration agreed that it was becoming very difficult for the mowers. I believe that both Mayor Evans and Service Director Schweckhammer put it this way: we do more weed eating than we do mowing, because they're working around all these little decorations, these obstacles. And of course, you need to be careful. You don't want to damage anything either. So anyway, the bottom line is that they heard from 3 people again. The council and the administration did. And as a result of hearing from those people, or maybe this was maybe in their thought process anyway, Service Committee Chairman Ryan Peters, the Service Committee, is in charge of the cemetery. That's under their bailiwick. The Service Director Chairman Ryan Peters said, let's pump the brakes. That was the phrase he did. In other words, we're near the end of the mowing season, he said. Let's take a look at the rules, see if we want to revise any of them, keep them, decide what we should do about enforcement. And we've got the winter to think that over. Hear from people, see what other cities are doing, etc. Could be some major changes in what they do. I do know this, and the administration agrees with that, by the way, to not do anything right now or force that issue this year at least.
Right.
So I think there's going to be more discussions. They're going to ask the mowers what they think too. They're going to get everybody in there. But it was also pointed out by both Mayor Evans and Service Committee Chairman, First Ward Councilman Ryan Peters, that on the other end of it, they're trying to do what is right by the city and also follow the law. And so,
I know there's so many different things to consider.
Right. So where is the middle ground? What do you do? Do you grandfather something? So do you grandfather things that you allowed to happen even though it was after the laws and so forth? And Debbie Biggs did some research, and she actually found out there were 2 ordinances regarding the cemetery and the upkeep / decorations that were prior to 2010. People didn't even know that they were on the books.
Oh.
And so, you have different administrations, you have different people on council, and the people on council, I think they feel they unjustly took some heat because they were just trying to follow the law, do something that they feel should have been done all along, make it easier for the mowers, and maybe make the cemetery a nicer place overall in the big picture, even though it was going to affect individual lot owners. So the bottom line, Jennifer, is they're going to be taking a look at that, and they're not going to do anything about making people remove any decorations or change decorations this year.
Maybe there can be some sort of compromise.
Right. Well, we hope so. It's always good to be responsive to the public.
It
is. And, give credit to those people who came to these 2 meetings, to state their case. And obviously, some emotions involved there. And I think you can understand to a certain extent at least, if you have, a loved one buried there, you would like to be able to decorate the grave that you bought the way you want, as long as it doesn't obstruct anyone else or go off into any turf that you do not own.
Well, and as I said,
and maybe some do.
Yeah. There are a lot of folks, and I think some of the thing is that, there are a lot of folks that have actually planted things up there like rose bushes or whatever, and it's because people steal decorations off of the graves, let's just be honest, and they want something there that will last and be there. And I know that that's not supposed to be a thing, but I also understand on the other side of the coin why people do that, because they don't want to spend money on a decoration that's going to disappear in 6 hours. So I don't know what the answer is. That's why council is council. Right. And why we're not on it.
Right. Well, I will give council credit for this, no matter whether you agree with what they were trying to do on the enforcement, because of, whatever rights the property owner or the lot owners should have, they are being responsive to what they are hearing in this case.
Yep.
So anyway, they will review things. And, that doesn't mean that they're not going to do anything or they're not going to enforce. I think they feel they need to do something, but they're going to look at the big picture, look at everything, and kind of take a little bit more time to look at the issue.
Sure.
All right. So on the COVID-19 front, we don't have any really new news to report from either of our 2 local health departments, but the Ohio Department of Health put out a release yesterday, Jennifer, with some statistics that I think are worth passing on to once again underscore that the COVID-19 cases are increasing, and they do represent a threat, whether we want to believe it or not. Here is what they say. The weekly data from the Ohio Department of Health says on Monday, August the 23rd, that was the last time they had a full state report, 4,133 Ohioans with COVID-19 in the state of Ohio. 663, that's a good many, were school-age Ohioans ages 5 to 18. Now, that is the factor that is much different than what it was the first time around with this thing. A lot of the younger people, including the children, are getting COVID-19. If you go back to Friday, July 23rd, which was just 1 month ago, there was 903 cases. 903 versus 4,133. That's quite a bit of an increase. And that includes cases within that age bracket, 5 to 18. Similarly, weekly data from earlier in the summer, the week of July 4th, showed only 1,987 cases. So it's been a slow progression July into August, and then in August, it's, I don't know, is spiking the right word? I think you could use that word.
Yep.
All right, so anyway, big increases there. So what they're saying, what the Ohio Department of Health is saying, and what you keep hearing from different news sources and the public health officials is, everybody seems to be, I'm not talking about the general public, but the officialdom in Ohio seems to be on this track in general. They want to keep things as normal as possible, but they are preaching vaccination, vaccination, and then all those things that they preached on that you needed to do before, that we did before. The masking, the social distancing, when possible, avoiding large gatherings, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But they're not telling you that you can't do a lot right now. And
they're not mandating it. They're just begging you.
That includes the schools too. Speaking of vaccinations, we want to remind you once again of a couple of opportunities. Tonight at the Vinton County High School football game, the Vinton County Health Department will be there from
Such a good idea.
From 6:30 p.m., that's a half hour before game time, through halftime or until halftime, giving the Pfizer vaccine and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So, and that is free. You don't have to do it, but that opportunity will be there. If you're on the edge and you've thought about doing it, or you've thought about having your child do it or whatever, you can do that. The target on the vaccinations, again, make this clear because some people may not have paid attention to this. Children 12 and under still have not been cleared to take the vaccine.
Right.
All right, for medical reasons. But ages 13 to 18, that is the target age bracket that the Ohio Department of Health and local health department people are seeking. And that is why the Jackson County Health Department will be up at Jackson High School tomorrow morning from 10 to 12. Now, that's not a school day, but it's still a school venue. And obviously, the field house where this will take place is a big area.
It's a really good venue.
It's just as big as the gymnasium, but without the seats.
Right.
And so they will be in there from 10 to 12, and they will be giving the vaccinations as well, free of charge. So that is another opportunity to get that vaccine. All right. There's a lady in town that we need to tip our hat to. Do you know Elizabeth Urian by any chance?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I know Elizabeth Urian, and she is a very special person. She just turned 95 years old, but she continues to volunteer her time to many good causes in the community and activities through the RSVP. That's the Retired Senior Volunteer Program that Susan Rogers runs here in town. And, they volunteer lots of places. They volunteer at the Marquee, but there's other volunteer activities where, they channel these volunteer hours. A lot of times it's retired people like Elizabeth. They channel those people into these needs. They work free of charge just to help people. Elizabeth has done it for 20 years. And the other day, our Trevor Bailey, our staff writer, was down there to cover a presentation of her receiving a major award, a major presidential award for volunteer service. That's as high as it gets that RSVP gives, and that is Elizabeth receiving that award from a representative of RSVP. And she has done 20 years of service, and this is after she retired from a long career as a court stenographer. She worked for the local courts here.
Really?
She worked as a court reporter for 30 years total at different places, very well respected. I do remember Elizabeth in my younger days as a reporter. She was probably one of the best stenographers that you would ever meet. That's kind of a lost art now. Yeah. But it's typing real quick, dictation, the shorthand,
Yes.
those skills still are helpful today, but, you don't hear about them much anymore.
That's right.
But congratulations to Elizabeth Urian. And that story will be featured in Saturday's edition of the Telegram.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for all that you do.
Right. And she is a very special person and certainly a great role model to a lot of other folks who maybe have time on their hands and they want to find a positive way to channel that time.
She's doing it at 95. You can do it.
At 95, exactly. That is amazing. All right. The Vinton County Commissioners at their last meeting proclaimed Overdose Awareness Day. And we have, talked about this before in general. The overdoses, the drug overdoses in our area are higher than most other counties in the state. And it's a problem everywhere as it is. But here are the commissioners. You can see on the monitor there. That is William Wellman seated on the left, Mark Fout on the right, two of the three Vinton County commissioners. They are proclaiming Overdose Awareness Day next Tuesday, August the 31st, with representatives of the coalition that is doing that. That's the Vinton County Prevention and Recovery Council. Diana Paff, Sebby Maxwell, and Susan Urban are all there on the back row representing that coalition. And there's going to be some special activities at Vinton County. It's just not a proclamation, just not a piece of paper. From 12 to 7 p.m. on Tuesday on the courthouse lawn, they're going to be doing all sorts of things. You can hang a picture or a ribbon on a remembrance tree in honor of overdose victims, to bring awareness to the fact that some very young people are losing their lives unnecessarily because of drug overdoses and drug abuse. And also Rockin' Reggie, who we all know, he does a lot of work. He's out of Athens County, but he does a lot of DJ work for good causes all around the area. He will be doing music and announcements from 12 to 4 p.m. And so this is a good way to show your support for the point that they're trying to get across about the dangers of drug overdose and the alarming statistics that we have. So many times you might hear, I hear on the scanner, I know most people don't have a scanner, but you hear on a scanner EMS being dispatched to a scene and they say something like 36-year-old male unconscious or whatever. A lot of times you're dealing with a drug overdose situation. It may even be accidental, not abusive, but they happen a lot. And there are many people who have died the last 10 years or so because of drug overdose, and you never really hear about it because of the nature of that news and the sensitivity of it. But it is a major problem in our society.
Yeah, everybody needs to look out for everybody else.
That's exactly right. And Jackson County Municipal Court Judge Mark Music doing great work on that. He speaks about it as publicly as he can. He tries to keep the statistics to kind of wrap your arms around it, to quantify how much of a problem it is. He's going to be talking with us for an article, I know, in the very near future. He is really a local force trying to bring awareness to that because people come through his court. He's got a drug court there, and so much of the crime is tied to drug abuse. And it's people just trying to feed their addiction. And they do things that they shouldn't do.
So what we need to do is get rid of the addiction, and then you get rid of the crime.
Well, that's the thought. And drug court, of course, that is the concept of the drug court. And not everybody qualifies for the drug court. And you have to want to help yourself. And some people are able to, and some people aren't. But it's a chance, at least.
We need to get Judge Music back in here to talk about that again because it is fascinating, and he's so passionate about it. And
he would do it. He would do it. He would come.
His ideas and how it was implemented and all that are just fantastic.
All right. Also, we had an advisory put out by the Village of Oak Hill. This was late yesterday afternoon. They are advising their water customers that there could be a discolored water situation for the next several days, so probably into the weekend. There was a water break that the Scioto Water Company had. The Scioto Water Company is their main source of water. They pipe it in from Scioto County, and that's the source of water for Oak Hill.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that is true for most of the folks in Oak Hill. I think they have ways to get Jackson County water too, but Scioto County water is the main supplier. And they had a water main break there in Scioto County, but will affect, the water coming in the lines into Oak Hill. And so the water is safe, but just let it run until it's clear if you experience that in Oak Hill.
Hey, speaking of water, Pete, what is going on out here on Main Street?
On Main Street? Where at on Main Street?
Out in front of the building. They're doing something
You
out
mean
there.
right in front of our doors here? I didn't notice.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, well,
James and I did. Well, they were blocking the intersection. I had to go around. That's why I was wondering.
Pete must have only come in the back door distance.
No.
Well, I couldn't even park where I normally do, but it's not a big deal. It was just wasn't sure. It was like they have a big tubey thing down, like they have a big truck out there and a big tubey thing down in the manhole in the middle of Main Street. So I don't know what they're doing.
Maybe some sewer work.
Maybe.
All right. Well, speaking of
tubey thing.
Speaking of construction disruption or whatever, although it hasn't happened yet, I talked about it earlier in the week, and just because ODOT puts out an advisory about construction doesn't mean it's going to exactly happen when they say, but they want you to get ready. They are going to be doing paving work on State Route 32, which is Main Street in town, on the end where there is the intersection with State Route 32, the exit and entrance ramps to State Route 32, all the way out to 4 Mile Road. That section of State Route 93 is going to be paved. And they're going to do that work in the evening, and it will restrict the traffic a little bit.
Okay.
And they were supposed to start the week of the 23rd. Well, they've not started yet. You see maybe the signs up, some of the orange signs. But when they do that, it's going to happen in the evening, and traffic is going to be restricted. But apparently in the day, you should be able to get through there okay. I don't think the road will be closed, but it will be restricted. Okay. And in that commercial area there, Walmart is there and a bunch of other stores. McCarty Crossing and so forth. A lot of businesses out that way. It's not going to disrupt the traffic, during the business day. So that is good. On another paving project, it's going to be the part of State Route 139 coming into town from the south, and State Route 139 actually winds into the city there on Huron Street, takes that turn on Vaughn Street right next to the middle school, and then takes another turn on South Street and ends up in the middle of town.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to be paving there. You've noticed all the curb work that the city has done there, where they're replacing curbs. Yeah. That is what the city had to do to prepare for the state paving project, which is paid for mostly with state money. Well, they were also supposed to do that paving work starting the week of the 23rd. Well, we're on the week of the 23rd. They've not started, but the signs are up, so you could look for that to work. You could look for that work to happen anytime, and they're supposed to also do that work in the evening and in the overnight hours. And that may be not to disrupt traffic there in town and, of course, right around the school.
That's right. And also I heard there's a DUI checkpoint somewhere today.
I wanted to tell you about that, too. I've not seen the latest advisory. They have to, by law, they have to let you know they're doing one, although they don't have to say exactly where it is.
Correct.
Right now, the last report is it's supposed to be in Jackson County, and it will be tonight. All right? Now,
be good kids
today,
all the time.
Today, maybe it's down there in my email right now. They're supposed to be a little bit more exact, like Jackson on State Route 93. But obviously, if you're doing it in Jackson on State Route 93, there's a lot of State Route 93 in Jackson. It goes all the way through town from one end to the other.
I feel like typically they do it out there at by Walmart.
They've been there at least twice before.
Yeah.
And as we all know, that is the high traffic area in town.
Definitely.
So anyway,
don't get drunk and go to Walmart.
Whenever we, that's right.
Although I know sometimes you'd like to.
Right. If you're stopping at Walmart, picking up that six pack,
it makes it better.
Wait till you get home. All right. Wait till you get home. All right.
Right.
And I would say that whether there's an OVI checkpoint or not.
Exactly.
All right. But anyway, you know what? People argue about those OVI checkpoints. I don't have a problem with them at all, because if you're not doing anything wrong, you just don't do what you're not supposed to do. Other than a delay. And some people on the other end of the argument don't like it that the patrol has to say there's going to be one.
I always did think that was a little bizarre that they have to tell you that where they're going to be. It's like if you get caught, you really are just, I don't know what rock you've been under. But anyway, that's a whole other.
No, some folks will know to avoid that area. So, we'll see about that. But there is one in Jackson County this evening.
Somewhere.
And because they're supposed to notify the public, at least to a certain extent. We will do the same. Watch our Facebook, watch our website, and we'll put that information out just as soon as we receive it. And we expect to receive the last notification this morning. All right, Jennifer, the only other thing that I want to remind everybody about, of course, are the ball games tonight.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that.
Right, okay.
Our recap of
Right, okay.
what's going on.
All right, Jackson plays at Ironton tonight. It is a 7:30 game time rather than 7 o'clock. They moved it back out of concern of the hot weather.
Yes.
Right, and Jackson 1-0 versus Ironton 1-0. The Ironton Fighting Tigers, I know this is subjective, it's early in the season, but they are at the top of the mountain in southeastern Ohio.
Yep.
And they're even near the top of the mountain in the whole state of Ohio. It's early in the season. We'll see if they're of that caliber of team again. But as we said when we talked here yesterday, they defeated Wheelersburg, who's also another mountain climber, 40-6 in the opening game. And everybody thought that would be a really close game.
Yep.
Jackson, of course, defeated
It
Logan
wasn't.
42-7 in their opener, but they have to go play in the tank tonight. So it will certainly be probably the toughest test of the year for the Ironmen.
Can we call it a slobber knocker?
Put it this way.
We hope it is.
So, some folks think that, those are two of the very top teams in the area.
Yeah.
So, we'll see
Good
how that
game.
goes. But a big challenge. You can listen to it on WKOV 96.7 FM. Dan Morrow will be calling it, and I'll be helping him a little bit.
Oh,
right.
You'll be helping him a little bit.
Exactly. We'll be there. Okay, also this evening down at Oak Hill, the Oaks have their home opener. That will be on 97.7 FM with Brian Howell calling the action. The Oaks will be playing the Fairland Dragons. That's an old OVC rivalry from yesteryear and now a non-conference game.
Where's Fairland?
Fairland is the town where it is Proctorville.
Okay.
About almost right across the river from Huntington, West Virginia. It's a big growth area.
Yeah.
And, they've had some excellent athletics, and so it'll be a tough challenge for the Oaks. Fairland won its opener. Oak Hill, of course, lost at Wellston 28-6. Paul Carver has done a great job as the new coach with the Oaks. He took over the team last year, did much better than what people thought he was in what some people thought was a rebuilding year, managed to get in the playoffs. Well, he's rebuilding again this year. Injuries and losing a lot of seniors. He's having to play with a lot of young players. So it will be a building process. But the exciting thing tonight, in addition to football, new turf at Oak Hill.
So pretty.
Right, and people will be able to, see that. And that it's something to see. It's a beautiful, beautiful turf. And it will be the first home game, the first of 5 this year.
Kind of don't want to mess it up, right?
Well, it lasts for a while. They say that the turf is supposed to last 6 to 8 years. It costs a lot of money. I don't know the price tag on the money this time.
We won't ask.
But they have to do track repair too, and that's going to cost a lot of money. And they're still in the middle of that, so it would be a little messy there. But it shouldn't get in the way of the ball game. All right. Also tonight, the Wellston Golden Rockets play at Piketon.
Okay.
That game, of course, on the road for Wellston as they try to go 2-0 after their victory against Oak Hill. Piketon also won their opener against Minford. That game will be on YPC 1330 AM, our Fox Sports news channel, and also the companion FM 105.3 FM.
Okay.
All right. And, of course, Rick Perdue will be there. I saw him yesterday. Such a nice guy. He's done it for many years for us, and nobody knows the kids or roots for them more than Rick Perdue.
That's right.
And his his color man, Mark Thomas, who was off last week, he will be back in the saddle this week with him down at Piketon. And also, lastly but not leastly, the Vinton County Vikings will be at home. And once again, if you've looked at your schedule, you see that Vinton County is supposed to be at Crooksville. Well, that game got switched because the Crooksville Stadium they cannot play on. It's a long-term thing. There will be no home games for Crooksville this year. So
Did it shatter, Pete?
It shattered the dreams of the Ceramics through a good home schedule. So the Ceramics,
there's a crack in it.
Yes.
I'll stop.
Okay. Yes. Do stop.
It cracks me up.
Do stop.
Pete doesn't think you're
Okay. Wow.
I'm sorry.
That was the best one. You finally got to it. But Crooksville will make the long trip down from Perry County to play the Vikings. It will be at MacArthur. You can watch a good football game, get shot with a vaccination. So
plans have been shattered. No,
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
okay. Well, that game will be on, moving along now, that game will be on 98.7 FM. Of course, Bob Grillo and Jeff Thacker
That's right.
calling the action there. The Vikings will try to go 2-0 under new coach T.J. Carver.
Yep.
And that game, once again, 98.7 FM. And the Vinton County game, the Oak Hill game, and the Wellston game are all 7 o'clock starts. That is the normal starting time now. Only the Jackson game got moved back. And so tune in about 20 minutes in advance of that game time kickoff, and you'll be able to get the pregame coverage.
Okay, and so you and the Dan will be there tonight, not the Dan's.
No. Dan Dobbins, we hope will be back next week.
Yes, we got to get him back too, huh?
Oh, yes. It's not the same without Dan.
You guys are like the three amigos. You can't do the two amigos. That doesn't. I mean, you do a fantastic job, Pete.
Only when we have to. We miss Danny for sure.
Yeah, no, you three are fun together.
Yeah,
so.
we hope that he'll be able to be back next week, and that's when the Ironmen will return home to play Licking Valley, another tough foe from the Newark area. So we'll see what happens there. But remember the Telegram on the print side and the website side. We'll be covering all the action. We hope to do some social media work tonight to let the fans know how the games are going and what the results are. And, of course, you can listen to the game via the internet as well. Tell us how you can do that again, James.
Yeah, James.
Download the Total Media Radio app on your smartphone. That's Apple and Android. Or you can go on your computer at yourtotalmedia.com/radio and click the Listen Live tab.
Right. So, if you're listening, to the Main Street TV now and you're not, where you can listen via the radio because you're too far away.
Sure.
You need
no
not
problem.
worry. There's other ways now to listen in this great communication world that we have. So anyway, so that's where we stand. But on the print edition, we'll have, full reports in Wednesday's paper, but we will have reports online on as many of the games as we can. We shoot for all of them tonight, into the wee hours. We'll be here working to get the reports out on those games, or at least something. And then we'll follow up and get full reports on the website as quickly as we can. And for our print-only subscribers and people who pick papers up off the newsstand or new scrapbooks, we'll have all that stuff in Wednesday's print edition.
You got it.
All right. Well, I'm going to do an exit stage right because I have a lot of work to do to get the print edition out. But I want to tell you how nice it was to come up and see you on a Friday.
Well, it's very good to have you.
TGIF.
That's exactly right, Pete. And have fun at the game tonight.
All right. Well, I will. Thank you very much.
All right. And, of course, Pete's morning news update. Don't you laugh at me. It's what I get for making fun. I crack him up. This could go on all day, folks. Pete's morning news update brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell or have any real estate needs, give her a call. All right. Speaking of the Total Media Radio app, here is your weather forecast. And as Pete mentioned, it is hot, and dangerously hot today. Mostly sunny skies, highs around 92, but that heat index up around 98 degrees, which means that it's going to feel like 98, so nearly 100 degrees. They're not mentioning any rain in the forecast, but they didn't really mention any rain much yesterday and the day before and all that, and it's poured. So the rest of your weekend into the beginning of your work week, partly cloudy Saturday, highs around 91 with that heat index of 97. And then Sunday, partly cloudy. They are bringing a chance of thunderstorms back into the forecast. Highs around 90 degrees with that heat index around 95. But as you can see, the beginning of your work week Monday, highs of 88, and then a bit cooler as the work week rolls on. And we will take it. I am much happier with 80 degrees than 98.
Yeah.
How's that?
Take it.
Are you one of those hot weather people, or do you like the cold, or are you like, I want it to be just right, like Goldilocks?
Goldilocks, yeah.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Like, if the whole world were sunny and 72 every day, I would be like the happiest person on earth.
Yeah.
75 I'll take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I could
good.
maybe go a little cooler than that.
I mean, How about
But I
we
don't want it
just
to be much hotter
right.
than that.
How about we keep it somewhere between 60 and 80, and that
Yeah.
would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. I can deal with
I mean,
fluctuation
yeah.
in the seasons. I just don't want it to be that
I mean, I
much.
like winter fine. I just don't like having to go out in the winter.
I know.
Like if it snows, like just I don't want to have to go out in that.
I know.
Like I like looking at it, but I don't want to have to
pretty.
be out in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I don't know if you've been downstairs the last couple of days, have you?
I have
So
major
Zip,
changes.
Zip Printing is in the process of moving to our new location.
Yes.
So pretty much all the printers and all that equipment has been moved to the new building right now.
Yes.
So if you have copies and things like that you need, be patient with them while they transition, because there's a lot of stuff that had to be moved. And
a lot of stuff.
Right, and now it's a lot of stuff that has to be set up.
Yes.
And it's not as easy as just plugging it in.
Yes.
There's a lot in it, a lot going on.
There's a lot of computers. There's a lot of ginormous machines that need put back
Right.
together, set up,
and they need put back together,
calibrated.
by technicians that have
Like
to come
people
in and do
that
this.
Are way smarter than we
Right. Yeah. So be patient over the next week or so while they transition that, and we'll keep everybody updated on the rest of the kind of transition of Zip Printing and Total Media moving to the
and
Stockmeister Plaza.
unless maybe we haven't really discussed it a lot here, but this entire building, so the radio building here in downtown Jackson, will be moving out to.
Not the building.
Well, not the building.
Just the people that
Everybody
work
in
in
it.
it. Yeah.
All of us will be moving out to the Stockmeister Plaza, as that's a ginormous building out there, and there was plenty of space. And that's the big building, the former Walmart building.
Yeah, behind Burger
You probably
King.
don't remember
No,
that,
I do.
you? Oh, do you?
Yeah.
That was the original Walmart here in
Mhm.
Jackson, and it's right behind Burger King. So we will all eventually be moving out there, but the first move was Zip Printing.
Yeah, and so they moved
Yep.
all the large printers.
Yep.
Over the last couple days.
And it has been an adventure.
Yeah.
For those that had to participate in that.
Stacy's been the
Who is-
most stressed I have ever seen her.
Who is the literally nicest human being
Yeah.
on earth and never doesn't smile or giggle.
Her facial expression for
She's
the
like-
last 3 days straight has been that.
Because she wants so badly to laugh and smile and
Yeah.
be cheery like she always is 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Except for her stress level is like somewhere
Yeah.
around, Eiffel Tower heights.
Mhm.
And so she looks like this.
But right now,
But yes,
I believe that
God love her.
if you do have orders, we're still doing pickups in the atrium here at the radio building.
Okay.
But probably after next week, that's probably going to start transitioning to the new location. But we'll let you know for sure. And obviously, if you have an order, we'll let you know.
That's right. And just please be a little patient and, worst case, stop by here, give a call or, whatever.
Mhm.
And they'll tell you where to be and when and
Yep.
all of that stuff. So, hey, don't forget that rummage sale at the Faith Lutheran Church tomorrow. From 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. At 11 a.m., they're going to have hot dogs, chips, and a drink for only $2.
That's a deal.
It's a
I mean, it's going to take
major
15
deal.
minutes off your life, but
I know. Or
I mean,
38.
that's you just have to make those compromises.
You do. But I'm telling you, for $2,
Yeah.
I'll do it. But no, it is a rummage sale at the Faith Lutheran Church. That's the one on Huron Street here in Jackson. Good clothing and shoes, blankets, quilts, drapes, curtains, miscellaneous household items, kitchen items, antiques. They're having lots and lots of home decor, Christmas decorations, office furniture, old push mowers. I mean, just anything you can think of. And the good news about that, the Faith Lutheran Church takes those proceeds, and they have a kind of a food pantry there at the church, and they do a whole lot of other things to help folks out along the way. So that's what the proceeds will go toward.
Great.
And please show up and do that, because my mommy's worked very hard to put that all together, along with a whole lot of
Do
other
it.
people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So anyway, so do you have any fun weekend plans?
No, I can't say that I do. Stay inside. Stay away from that heat.
it is going to be very dangerous out there, and
avoid that OVI checkpoint. I looked that up on their website to see if it
does it list the
Yeah, so it just says in quotes, undisclosed location. Which makes it sound very like covert.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't do something you're not supposed to do and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't do it.
Yeah, and speaking of don't do it, have you heard about this milk crate challenge?
Yeah, I've seen a few people do that.
What is wrong with these people?
I don't know.
Have y'all heard of the milk crate challenge? It is insane.
I think we should do it on the show.
I think go for it. I tell you what, I will stack all the milk crates and you run up and down.
So the milk crate challenge is basically you stack milk crates up like stairs, like up to a high point, and
or like a pyramid,
down.
Or like however you want to stack them. I guess.
But once you get to so high, they're just not wide enough to support that weight, and the whole thing just comes down.
So people are literally crumbling to the ground, falling.
Yeah.
And like somebody's gonna die soon.
Yeah, probably.
From this.
Yeah.
And it's like TikTok is gotten so bad that TikTok's like kind of like banned it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like they've banned the hashtag and everything because they won't let people do it because they know people are going to kill themselves.
I saw somebody
post. What is wrong with you?
I saw somebody posted a link on Facebook earlier today. And it was like a screenshot of like the Amazon listing for plastic milk crates. And they were like $30 each. And the dude was like, how can people afford to do that?
Lord. Well, what I don't understand is why would anyone have to pay for a milk crate? I mean, we've got like 50 of them piled up at the back of the restaurant. Anybody wants to do the milk crate challenge?
I think you should maybe not say that.
Yeah, I probably should.
Your lawyer is like,
he just fell off of his chair.
Don't say that on the radio.
Correct, yeah. But no, so yeah, people are stacking milk crates up and then trying to run up them, and then they immediately crumble to the ground and fall, and bad things happen.
I think I could do it.
Let's try it.
Very good balance. No, but what I almost did make you do this. Do you remember like a year or two ago where they had the challenge online was eating these incredibly hot potato chips?
Yes.
They came in like one chip.
Yes.
So I was in, I think it was the Speedway here in Jackson. And I noticed that they had those. I was like so tempted. I was like, I'm going to give this to Matt and see if he'll eat it while he's on the radio. He would just be unable to talk for the rest of the time. I was like, yeah, that would not make for good radio. But
it would make for better TV.
Yeah, but I was
as
really
you can
tempted.
see the tears and the.
Yeah. I was really tempted to buy those, but I didn't.
I remember one time Jason Holzappel did that, and so you have to go like X amount of time without drinking something to like survive the challenge, and then you can drink milk or whatever. So I don't know. I remember him doing it, and I think he survived it.
Yeah, he's still
alive.
Did. That's good.
I questioned sometimes his sanity, but after that, but yeah. So the FDA has now weighed in on the milk crate challenge.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the people that are doing the milk crate challenge take everything that the FDA says very seriously.
Right. Conan O'Brien said, "Waiting for FDA approval before I take the milk crate challenge."
What? Food
Just
and Drug
don't do
Administration. Where in that do plastic milk crates fall?
I don't know. Do you think there's like, Bob, I need you to come into my office. Yes, sir. I need you to make some kind of statement about the milk crate challenge, Bob. That's your job today. That's your job, Bob.
Sure, sir. Get right on that.
I don't know if they actually issued a statement or... Let's see if it says. But yeah, TikTok has banned everything. Like if you try to hashtag milk crate challenge, they'll give you an error message.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's.
I say go for it. It's a free country. If you want to fall off milk crates, that's your prerogative.
I mean, yeah, it's whatever. So when Conan did the waiting for FDA approval before I take the milk crate challenge, the FDA responded to his tweet and suggested that he refrain from participating. It says, although we regulate milk, we can't recommend you try that. Perhaps enjoy a nice glass of 2% and return all those crates to the grocery store.
FDA's not telling me what to do.
I know. Yeah. So, I don't know, but who comes up with this stuff? It's like the Tide Pod
Well, that was just
challenge.
Yeah, well, that's just kids being dumb. I mean, I guess this is just kids being dumb too.
Hi, let's take hand sanitizer and rub it all over our bodies and light it. That's a good
I haven't
idea.
seen that one, but
Oh yeah, that was
funny.
a big one.
Sounds fun.
Oh, kids were getting really burnt from it.
I was somewhere the other day and I noticed that their hand sanitizer was labeled as non-alcoholic. Maybe they had an incident with somebody sitting there.
There was an incident.
They might have had an incident at McClure's. God bless.
Do you think that there's... I haven't looked at any hand sanitizer lately, but I wonder if there's like a disclaimer on it now, like, please do not get this near an open flame.
Did you see where, you know, like when COVID first hit, all those like distilleries and stuff started making hand sanitizer?
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know, the FDA or whatever, like months later came and said, actually to sell hand sanitizer, you have to have all these licenses and permits and stuff,
Right.
and like send them a bunch of fines for like making hand sanitizer without
That's
it.
BS. I mean, they're distilling. It's the same thing.
Right, but it was like a national crisis, and like they're telling people that they need stuff like this, and people went out and made it
So they're
to
taking
fill
their
that
distilleries.
need.
It happened in Columbus a bunch. You know,
Yeah.
they had to shut down because of COVID,
Mhm.
but they started making hand sanitizer.
Right.
So good for them, and then they get
And then
criticized
and
for
then
it.
They get fined.
Only in America. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yep. Did we talk about the walrus, the floating couch walrus? Did we
No,
talk about that
I
here
don't
on the
believe
air?
so.
I think I told you about it, but so there's this walrus out in he is in what country is he in? Ireland or somewhere.
Okay.
Anyway, he he's in Ireland. He keeps sinking ships.
Oh, I think
Boats.
you did tell
I
it.
did
Yeah.
tell you about
Okay,
this.
yeah.
So this walrus, his name is
Wally,
yes.
because that's the
They're
only.
so creative. So
It is Wally.
It is, yes. His name's really Wally. He was first spotted off the coast of Kerry, Ireland, in March, but for the past couple weeks has been spotted frequently along the southeast and southern coast of Ireland. There's only one little problem with Wally. He keeps climbing on boats and sinking them to
Happens.
rest because he's so big. He's been sinking people's boats. So they don't know what to do with him. And they don't know what they were like, what do we do with this walrus? Because we can't have him sinking everybody's boats. Yeah. So they got together, and to keep him from damaging more boats, they've decided to give him his own floating couch. So they're trying to figure out where to put this. What it is a three-sided pontoon boat that somebody has like given them. And they're going to try to like anchor it out somewhere in like a place where they think he would want to be and be comfortable, so that he will use that as his floating couch and stop sinking people's boats.
So you know,
isn't that? I mean, it's funny as long as it's not your boat.
So you know how at the beginning of every episode of The Simpsons they do a couch joke, where like they all run and jump on the couch, and it's animated differently every time.
Well, I've never seen The Simpsons either, but.
Okay.
I know. I'm so weird.
How are you like a child of the 90s that didn't see The Simpsons?
I don't know. I didn't.
It's crazy. But anyway, the opening credits of The Simpsons always has a joke with them all sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Like, originally it's just they all run into the living room, sit on the couch, and turn on the TV.
Yes.
But then, like, after, The Simpsons has been on for like 20 seasons or whatever, they start making it a joke.
Yeah.
So it's always, the couch and stuff is always something different.
Okay.
So I feel like they need to do one where the couch is a floating pontoon boat and Homer is a walrus. And he
there
just
you go. He just dives in it.
Yeah, and then it sinks.
And then it sinks. I like it. So, yeah. There you go. Poor Wally. He must be a big tub of lard.
Homer-esque.
Well, he must be very friendly, though, if he's just crawling onto random people's boats and sinking them. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, he's
Poor
probably
guy.
pretty territorial. I would think. If he's that big alpha, probably
maybe
wouldn't want to get close
he's
to
like
him.
staking his claim on people's boats. But and if you are interested in breaking a Guinness World Record, I have
boy,
a challenge
am I.
for you.
Okay.
There's a guy from Idaho, and he broke a Guinness World Record by he balanced 101 toilet paper rolls on a single roll placed on his forehead. Now, number one, this is COVID time.
Yeah. So
where in the world did he get
that
101
dude-
rolls of toilet paper?
That dude is responsible for last year's
It's all
toilet
his
paper
fault.
shortage. And he couldn't think of a better use of in balancing it on his forehead.
He balanced
How
one.
do you, like,
I
does he have an assistant, like, on a ladder?
I don't know. How do you do that?
I don't know.
He said he's broken more than 200 Guinness World Records, and he does it for like charity, basically.
Uh-huh.
But he said the toilet paper rolls were more difficult because the rolls aren't rigid, and it makes them harder to get an even balance off of them. There were multiple failed attempts before he determined that the best shape for the stack was a pyramid atop an inverted pyramid. So he went from like one roll this way and then went
Okay.
back.
Been more.
I guess it would be like a diamond
Yeah.
almost or something.
Good on him. That's what I say.
Yeah, I mean, he got 101 rolls in place and balanced them on his head for enough time to take the record for most toilet paper rolls balanced on your head. 101 of them.
Round of applause.
Drop
sir.
the mic.
Yep. Congratulations.
Dude, proud of you.
Yep.
And also there is, if you're interested in traveling around a little bit, there is a contest for America's Best Restroom.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
it's probably a McDonald's.
So,
'Cause they're always pretty consistently clean.
I mean, I would think so,
Yeah.
yeah. But
That's
I
what my
don't
grandpa always said.
I don't see a McDonald's on here, but an Ohio-based company is asking the public to choose between 10 finalists for the title of America's Best Bathroom. So it's Cintas. So
Okay,
Cintas,
yeah.
if you know what Cintas is, they're the ones that put up the soap dispensers and give towels to restaurants and all that stuff. Like, not give,
Rent. Or
rent,
yeah.
rip off. Anyway, not that I'm bitter or anything. But they have announced the 10 public bathrooms as finalists. So they say the public is expecting higher hygiene right now than ever before. So
That's
they have,
good.
they have chosen. So you can go to Cintas's website and vote on this. So the finalists are, just in case you're at any of these places.
Yeah. I think this would be a good show. We just visit and use the top 5 cleanest bathrooms in the state.
I'm fine with that because we would get to travel all over the country.
Oh, I thought it was okay.
No, it's
all
not
over the
just in
country.
Ohio.
Okay.
It's all over the country.
Okay.
So let's do that.
Yeah.
We're going on a road trip. The Core 24 GVL Gym in Greenville, South Carolina. I have no idea. The Fancy Flush Portable Toilet in Santa Rosa, California.
I do not believe a scenario in which a portable toilet is the nicest restroom anywhere.
I'm not believing that either, but it is a finalist.
Okay.
What we need to do is like Google these and figure out what they look like.
What a nice portable toilet looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JFK Airport's Terminal 4 in New York, so an airport bathroom.
I mean,
Find
yes,
that hard to believe
yeah.
too. Nantai Fine Dining in Atlanta. The Planet World Museum in Washington, D.C. The Pump House in Kannapolis, North Carolina. The Fed Community Restaurant in Clarkston, Michigan. Well, that's not too far away.
Yeah.
You're going to be interested in this. Two Cities Pizza in Cincinnati.
Okay.
which I've never heard of or
No,
been
me
to.
neither. What's the other city?
And then the restroom at the William S. Craycraft Park in Mission Viejo, California.
All right.
So we have to go to, South Carolina, North Carolina, California, DC, Atlanta.
Yeah, we're going to get some frequent flyer miles.
It's going to take us a while
It's going to take a while, yeah.
to go to all these places.
But it'll be worth it because...
But then we can legitimately vote on that.
It's true.
So if you go to Cintas website...
I would think that they would have all been like fancy restaurants that had like...
That's what I would have thought too.
Restroom attendants and gave you mints and stuff like that.
Right. Or like maybe even like a fancy department store or something like that where it would be all bougie.
Sprays you with a little bit of perfume when you walk out.
Like bougie stuff.
Dude, I can't remember. It was either... I was watching these like videos online about like luxury cars.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the new Bentleys. There's a little thing in the glove box where you screw in, like those Bath and Body Works like wall air fresheners, the little glass things.
Nuh-uh.
So there's a little place where you can screw one of those in, and there's a little button on the dash. You can push it, and it'll give a little like squirt of perfume throughout your like Bentley or whatever $300,000 car it was.
If you're driving around your $300,000 car, you probably shouldn't need air freshener.
Well,
it should be pretty clean, I would think. But
then the other one
that is so crazy.
This was in a Rolls Royce. This was the funniest thing. You open the door, and like inside the door, there's a little compartment for your umbrella. So you open the door, and like your umbrella's right there, and it like comes out like a sword.
Shut up! No.
No, and of course, it's like a Rolls Royce branded umbrella, so it's like super like over the top fancy. And then when you're done, you just shut it up and you like put it back in this little holster of the door. Like it's not in a compartment. Like it's not like putting the umbrella in the little cubby like, in the door. Like it's inside the door. Like you have to open the door to like pull it out.
Can you imagine? Like, I could see where somebody get like arrested, like yanking out their umbrella and wielding it to,
because it's
knock
like
somebody, beat the tar out of somebody.
Because it's like designed for a chauffeur, right? So like the chauffeur gets out, and he pull like all in one motion. He can pull out the umbrella, and then like the backseat door opens like the opposite of what it's for. So all in one motion, he can open his door, get the umbrella, open it, and open like. The back door. But if you if he was just having a bad day and he got pulled over, it's all in one motion to pull that umbrella out. And you just start
freeze.
Yeah.
It's an umbrella, sir.
Drop the expensive umbrella, sir. But that's a fun rabbit hole to fall down, is like the world of like $300,000 to $500,000 cars.
Like how ridiculous it is. Yeah. I could see that.
It's pretty funny.
Oh my gosh. Well, on that note, we probably need to get out of here for the day. Hope that you enjoy some high school football.
Yeah.
See, Ohio State plays next Thursday? First game.
Yeah, I believe so.
Super excited.
I think it's the second, maybe. I think it's the date.
That sounds about right. Yeah, because the Tuesday's the 31st.
And we'll have that on the radio too.
Yes.
It's on 98.7, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Home of the Buckeyes.
Yep.
All right. So, lots of high school football this weekend. If you are thinking about getting that vaccine, you have the perfect opportunity up in Vinton County tonight at the football game. Eat some popcorn, get a vaccine.
Interested to see if they have many takers there.
I know. I hope so.
Yeah. I hope they make the information public, but they probably won't.
Yeah. So... All right. Have a great day, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay cool. Stay inside. Check on all your friends, neighbors, pets. And we will be back here on Monday. And, just make sure that all your loved ones stay cool out there this weekend because it is going to be dangerously hot. So have a wonderful day, and we'll see you right back here on Monday. Bye, everyone.